Hi, welcome to theCUBE. I'm your host, Lisa Martin, and we are on the ground at Google with CloudNOW, which is a nonprofit organization for women in cloud computing and converging technologies, really focused on mentoring women at various stages in their careers. We're very excited to be joined tonight by one of the VIPs, Dora Korpar, who has a very interesting background. Dora, welcome to theCUBE, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing. You're at the Holberton School, which is
Yes.
very interesting education program. What is that all about, and what sparked your interest in that type of education?
Sure. So Holberton School is a 2-year college alternative that is kind of project-based, and so the idea is to, instead of like being bogged down with like textbooks and lectures and stuff like that, we do everything based on projects. So we're like hands-on completely. We're doing projects that are like relevant in the industry right now. Software engineering industry. And yeah, kind of what sparked my interest, I guess, is I had a friend in college who, he was a German and philosophy double major, right? Which is like, what are you going to do with that? Yeah. And I ran into him a couple years after graduation, and I asked him what he was doing, and he was like, oh, I just got a job at Apple. And I was like, wait, what? He was like, yeah, I taught myself how to do all this stuff like online, and I was like, people can do that? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of started looking into it. I started doing some stuff on my own online, and then I found this school that was taking its applicants for its first class, actually. And I was like, this is awesome. I could, because like learning on my own for me is just, I kind of miss having the environment of like people who are doing, exactly. People who are doing like the same stuff. And I was like, this school is perfect because I get to like basically do what I'm doing now, which is like working on projects, like making websites, whatever. But I can do that within this environment. So that's kind of why I applied, and then I got in.
And you're in the very first class. So when did you start?
Yes, we started in January.
Okay, so just a little bit less than a year ago. And Dora and I were talking offline and laughing at that. We both have degrees in biology, and neither of us are doctors. So talk to us about, from an end goal perspective, when you graduate, what is it that you're going to achieve, and where are you hoping to go from there?
Okay. So I actually kind of went into this school without really having any concrete goals. I was just like programming is something that I actually enjoy. Let me see where this leads. And now I've actually got a job, so I kind of have my feet in the door in the industry. And honestly, I think like to start my own company at some point.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'd like to, work in the industry for some years, get some experience under my belt, because I am so new and have like no prior experience. But I think an end goal would be to start my own company.
Fantastic. So you talked about your friend who was the double major in German and philosophy as being kind of an influencer, and you going, wait, you can do that?
Yeah.
As we're at CloudNOW, this event that's a nonprofit for women that's really focused on kind of creating this value-driven meritocracy, looking at being as successful as you want to be, looking forward, I want to start my own company. Who are some of the people that are influences in your life now that are going to lead you to go, I can do this?
Yeah. So I would say one of the school's founders, his name is Julian. He's like set up all of these things for me. He like got me into this CloudNOW thing, and like he's been super helpful and like super influential in like getting not just me, just all of the students like motivated and making sure that we're doing something that we actually enjoy, which I think is like a huge part of, especially like in this industry too. Like if you don't like it, you're not gonna do well, kind of thing.
One of the things too that I'd love to get your opinion on is looking at those younger girls who'll be looking up to you, your kind of nonlinear path to where you are. I have a very similar background. I think that's an important message for girls to understand, that you don't have to know what you want to do when you're even 18.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you would advise young Dora, maybe 10 years ago, and probably kind of surprised that you're here where you are now, but looking back, what are some of the things that you've learned that you would advise a younger you?
I guess, honestly, like, don't worry about it would be a big one, because I was always like, I don't know, should I do this, should I do that? Kind of, I didn't really know. And so I think that scared me even from trying a lot of things. So I think my like biggest piece of advice would be like, just kind of go for it. Just see what you want to do. And like, if you like it, awesome. Like, you don't have to stick with it if you don't, you know?
Absolutely, and especially being in Silicon Valley, there's tremendous
Oh,
amount
totally.
of opportunities.
Yeah.
You mentioned kind of how you got to the CloudNOW event. Really, networking is such an important
Totally.
component of
Yeah,
that, and it sounds like
totally.
you've been certainly a beneficiary of that. So last question for you is kind of at the event tonight, what have been some of the keynotes that have presented, and we've actually spoken with both of them. What are some of the things that stick in your mind that were really like, wow, that's kind of a guiding light I want to embody?
Yeah, I think, I want to say her name right,
Mylon.
Yes, thank you, yeah.
Mylon Thompson-Bukovac, yes.
Yes, wow.
Yes.
I think her speech was really motivating just because she was talking about innovation and how it's like a skill that you can learn, which I think is a really important mindset to have, you know, because a lot of people are like, oh, maybe I don't have the talent for this, or like, I'm not cut out for this. Where like, actually, you could. You just have to, you know, try. You have to put in some hours, you have to do some work, and it's a thing that can be learned. It's not something that you're just born with.
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. I love that. Nobody's born with innovation.
Exactly.
I think one of the things that I see that you embody is you embody confidence. I'm going to try something. And a lot of us aren't born with that, but having that goal that maybe is a little bit scary is, to me, if it doesn't scare you a little bit, is it worth doing?
Exactly, yeah, you have to push your boundaries a little bit.
Absolutely, and really having that belief that I can do this, that there's not going to be anybody that's going to intimidate me, maybe my own self, but learning as you go along the way to resolve some of those. I've also heard similar messages tonight. So, well, Dora, thank you so much for being here. Best of luck in your academic career and in starting your own company in the next few years. Hopefully, when you're a CEO, we'll have you back on theCUBE.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You've been watching theCUBE. I'm Lisa Martin, and I want to ask you if you know a woman who should be featured on theCUBE and filmed in our Palo Alto studios. Tweet us at theCUBE, #WomenInTech. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.